Aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese Case Stories, Cases Judged by Bao Gong. Today, I'm going to bring you a story called An Articulate Child. Once upon a time, there was a man named Han Ding in the southern part of Luzhou City who was very wealthy. Han Ding had a close friend from childhood named Shu Er. Shu Er's family was poor, and he and his younger brother Shusan made a living by trading salt, conducting business at the river port to get by. One day, Shu Er discussed with his brother, "We are both skilled in doing business, but we lack capital, making it difficult to turn around our goods. If we continue doing small business like this, how can we ever get rich?" Shusan said, "Even if you didn't mention it, I often think about this too, but I don't know where we can raise the capital. I've heard that you have a good relationship with Han Ding and that the Han family is wealthy. Why don't you ask him to lend us some money for our business? Once we make money, we can repay him with interest. Wouldn't that be good?" Shu Er replied, "What you say makes sense, but I'm worried he won't lend us the money." Shusan said, "If he refuses, we'll think of another way." Shu Er agreed with his brother's suggestion. The next day, Shu Er went directly to the Han residence to ask Han Ding for a loan. When Han Ding saw Shu Er, he smiled and said, "We haven't seen each other for a long time. Please come inside and sit." Shu Er went to the living room and sat down. Han Ding immediately had someone prepare a banquet to entertain his guest, and the two chatted while drinking. When they were half drunk, Shu Er said to Han Ding, "I have something to discuss with you, but I've been hesitant to bring it up, fearing you might not agree." Han Ding replied, "We've known each other since childhood, just say whatever you need to say." Shu Er said, "I want to go to another place to trade goods, but I lack the capital, so I came to you to borrow some silver." Han Ding asked, "Are you going alone or with someone?" Shu Er did not hide anything and told him he was going with his brother Shusan. Initially, Han Ding was inclined to lend the money to Shu Er, but upon hearing that he was going with his brother, he made an excuse, saying, "Unfortunately, right now I am dealing with some official grain matters and don't have any extra money to lend you." Shu Er realized he was being evasive and didn't press the matter further. He made an excuse about drinking too much and took his leave. Han Ding did not try to persuade him to stay. When Shu Er returned home, he was in a foul mood. Shusan, seeing his brother unhappy, asked, "Brother, you must have gained something by asking Han Ding for money today, so why are you upset?" Shu Er told him the truth. Shusan, hearing this, angrily said, "Han Ding is really bullying us. Do we really need his money to succeed? We will think of another way." So the two brothers didn't bring up the matter again and went to the river port to do business together. Han Ding had an adopted son named Han Shun, who was naturally intelligent and clever. Han Ding loved him dearly. Around the Qingming festival in March, Han Shun planned to go on an outing in the countryside with his friends and took a few taels of silver with him to pay for drinks at a tavern along the way. By evening, his friends had all left, but Han Shun, having drunk a few too many cups, was drunk and fell asleep in a pavilion halfway up a hill near Xingtianin. At this time, the Shu brothers also passed by the pavilion. Shu recognized Han Shun, the adopted son of Han Ding, and told Shusan. Shusan, still angry that Han Ding had refused to lend them money, suddenly harbored malicious intentions and said to Shu, "Don't blame me for being ruthless, but it's that Han Ding who disrespected us brothers. Now, while no one is around, let's kill this child to get back at Han Ding for not lending us the money." Shu shockingly agreed to his brother's suggestion, saying, "You do it, but be careful and make sure no one sees you." So, Shusan picked up a sharp axe and struck at Han Shun's body, killing him instantly. The brothers then searched Han Shun's body, found some silver in his clothes, took it all, and discarded his body carelessly by the roadside. Nearby was a village where a carpenter named Zhang Yi lived. His residence was right behind Xingtianin. Zhang the carpenter would leave early every morning to work in the city. Around 5 in the morning, as he was walking up the hill with his tools, he suddenly saw a body lying by the roadside, covered in blood. Zhang was shocked and thought, "Seeing such an ominous thing first thing in the morning is bad luck. I should go back home." Thinking this, he turned around and went back home. By noon, Han Ding had learned about the murder of his adopted son and came to identify the body. Seeing it was indeed Han Shun, he was overwhelmed with grief. He called for a coroner, who determined that the fatal wound was caused by an axe. Following the footprints and blood traces at the scene, the onlookers eventually found their way to Zhang the carpenter's home. Immediately, the neighbors suspected Zhang of murdering Han Shun. Han Ding also did not doubt this theory and ordered Zhang and his wife to be arrested and taken to the local county office. The county magistrate interrogated the neighbors, who all unanimously accused Zhang of murdering Han Shun. Despite Zhang and his wife continuously denying the charges, they eventually couldn't withstand the severe torture and confessed. However, the loving couple each insisted that they were the one who had killed Han Shun. The magistrate, seeing the discrepancy in their confessions, began to suspect that there might be more to the case. He temporarily imprisoned them, but even after a long time, no final verdict was made. When Gong started to handle unresolved cases in the Shijing area, he passed through Luzhou. The local officials, upon learning of his arrival, went out of the city to welcome him. Gong then went to the county hall of Luzhou. He first inquired of the county magistrate whether there were any unresolved cases. A clerk stepped forward and reported, "There is only one suspicious case in Luzhou, and that is the case of Han Ding accusing the carpenter Zhang of murdering his adopted son." Zhang and his wife each claimed to be the culprit, which makes the matter highly suspicious, but it has been impossible to clarify, so the county magistrate has kept them temporarily imprisoned for further investigation. This case has been pending for more than a year. Upon hearing this, Gong said, Regardless of the severity of the case, the imprisoned individuals have already endured a year of suffering. Even if it were only half a year, how could ordinary people bear such hardship? Whether the case deserves a verdict or not, it should be promptly examined and judged. Those who can be released should be released immediately. If cases everywhere were delayed like this one, wouldn't the prisons be filled with suspects who never receive a fair trial? The local officials, hearing this, were left speechless and felt ashamed. Early the next morning, Gong, dressed in plain clothes, went to the prison with 2 attendants. Upon meeting the carpenter Zhang and his wife, he questioned them in detail. Zhang, weeping, recounted the events leading up to the incident to Gong. After listening, Gong pondered, if this were a case of murder and robbery, the head would indeed be the most likely target. However, Han Xun's head showed no signs of being struck by an axe. Given the evidence of the blood leading to Zhang's house, why would Zhang adamantly deny the charges if it were so clear? This case indeed has suspicious elements and requires further investigation. The next day, Gong once again interrogated the carpenter Zhang and his wife. After multiple rounds of questioning, Zhang's account remained consistent with his previous statements. While Gong was puzzled, he noticed a small child carrying a packet of food to the prison. After a brief private conversation with the jailer, who nodded in agreement, Gong immediately asked the jailer, "What did that child just say to you?" The jailer hesitated and stammered, saying only, "The child said that I have relatives visiting at home and that I should go home early tonight." Gong knew the jailer was lying and returned to the main hall, instructing his officers to hide outside the hall. He then ordered the child to be brought in. He also instructed a bailiff named Li Shiba to bring 40 copper coins and place them in the child's hand, then softly asked him, "Don't be afraid. What did you and the jailer talk about just now?" To Gong's surprise, the child, though young, was quite articulate. He told Gong, "Just now on East Street, I saw 2 men sitting in a tea shop. They called me over and gave me 50 copper coins to buy fruit. Then they asked me to go to the prison to find out what was happening. They said that Gong would be interrogating the carpenter Zhang and his wife today and wanted to know if they had confessed. That's all, there was nothing else." Hearing this, Gong immediately summoned constables Zhang Long and Zhao Hu and instructed them, "Follow this child to the tea shop on East Street and bring the 2 men he mentioned to see me." Zhang Long and Zhao Hu followed the child to the tea shop, where they found the 2 men, the Shu brothers, waiting for the child's return. The constables promptly arrested them and brought them to the court. Gong sternly demanded, "Why did you 2 conspire to murder and then let an innocent person take the blame?" Initially, the Shu brothers tried to deny the charges, but Gong brought out the child to testify against them. Terrified and unable to defend themselves, the Shu brothers finally confessed to the murder of Han Xun. When Gong summoned Han Ding, he was shocked to realize that his refusal to lend money to the Shu brothers had led to their hatred and ultimately to the murder. With the case now clear, Bao Gong sentenced the Shu brothers to death and released the carpenter Zhang and his wife. Another wrongful case had been justly resolved. Alright. Today's case story, An Articulate Child, concludes here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments and share with others. See you again in the next issue.